Jasak is the Vice President for Coverage and Payment Policy of Heart Health Strategies. He received his law degree at Emory University. He has held a number of previous positions, including Deputy Director for Regulatory and Quality Affairs in the American College of Surgeons, Division of Advocacy and Health Policy. He served as a Senior Regulatory Advisor for the American Association of Orthopedic Surgeons. Prior to that, he was a director with the Advisory Board Company, a membership-based for-profit research firm, serving 2,400 of America's leading hospitals and health systems. He has served as a policy and strategy analyst in the government at the Health and Human Services, Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Public Affairs, with an expertise in Medicare payment and budget issues, and provided services to the CDC, Office of General Counsel. I will tell you that Bob, I've gotten to know him over the past year, is incredibly knowledgeable and helpful in helping the rheumatology community navigate the sometimes treacherous but always tricky waters of Washington. Bob?
Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone here for having me and letting me talk with you during your dinner. And during the introduction, you heard two things. One, that I'm from Washington, D.C., and two, that I'm a lawyer. So it's a little less like a bio and a little bit more like a disclosure. My goal tonight is to walk you through sort of the state of affairs in Washington, D.C. when it comes to physician payment issues. There's a lot of different things that are happening, and I think that you've already probably noticed that the game seems to be changing, even after the passage of the Affordable Care Act. And really, what does it mean to be engaged now? What does it take to be engaged? And one of the things that I want to do is just sort of walk you through what that playing field looks like now, and then talk a little bit about what it is that you can do to stay engaged and to try to help make a difference for your community. So we'll do that as we walk through the slides. But I will say, part of my job here is to report what's happening. I didn't cause these things to happen, so don't get too upset with me as I go through it. And for any of you that are drinking wine, you might want to get a refill before this is over. Okay, so I'm going to start with probably the most stressful slide you're going to see the whole evening. This is our healthcare system now. And I know it kind of looks like it's a joke slide, but every single one of those lines that are on there is real. The connection between all of these federal agencies, all of the different departments that are in there, and there are things that are determining your fate in this whole system happening at all different levels of what you see here. And obviously you can't read the writing on there, but the point is that it's incredibly difficult to navigate. You're always trying to figure out where things are happening, what's happening, whether sometimes things haven't even that are supposed to happen don't happen. And a lot of times you can imagine when you're looking at a graphic like this, one department or one circle is not going to know what the other one is doing. And it's part of what we have to do in DC is try and stay on top of that. But I'm going to try and boil it down a little bit for you. But believe me, I share your frustration when you read the newspaper or if you come to Washington, D.C. ever to meet with your congresspeople. It's frustrating, and we get that. And this is why. And we've got to try and make sense out of this. So let me try and simplify it a little bit for you so that we can make it a little bit more digestible. So I'm going to break the talk up really into three sections. The first is to talk about the current way that Medicare pays for physician services. And I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Sustainable Growth Rate Formula, or the SGR. It's something that we've been dealing with for a long time, so I want to tell you what the state of play is with that. The second thing that I want to cover is value-based purchasing, the value-based healthcare system, which is something that we hear a lot of talk about. And I want to just show you some examples of how that's really manifesting and what that might mean for you down the road. And what I can tell you on that as sort of a preview is that the train's already moving on that. So even if there's no more legislation, if there's no repeal of the